Hey everyone, welcome to the Internet Capitalist Podcast with Luke Kish, where we talk about mindsets, experiences, and frameworks that will help you have fun, get rich, build cool shit, and positively impact the world. I'm your host, Luke Kish, and welcome to episode number 16 of the podcast, all about working forward in day-tight compartments. This is going to be super helpful for you if you feel overwhelmed at any point, or like you got too much going on at once, which, side note, is how I felt this morning. That is why I'm talking about this right now, because it's advice that I need for myself right now. That is working in day-tight compartments. So what does that mean? That means that rather than going schizo, thinking about, 30, 60, 90 days, 15 different projects, 5 different outcomes for all 15 projects, and all of the steps and possibilities and hypotheticals and theoreticals that are required to carry out all of those situations, which is, where my mind defaults to be honest. Rather than that, we just focus on what we need to get accomplished today. So, I used to be a huge always be out in the future, always think about where you're going. And I do think that you do need to do that. But I think it's a small percentage of time until you reach a point where you have massive amounts of resources, executive level people working for you who are very capable at critical thinking and their jobs, in which you can literally be ahead of the actual goings on, for a majority of your time, which is where I think super high level CEOs go to and get to. I'm not there yet. If you're listening to me, you're probably not there yet. So for us, what we need to do is think in day-tight compartments, meaning what? Spend 5, 10, if you want to push it, 15, 20% of your time thinking about the future. So the future is just somewhere you need to go mentally to create a picture, create some hypothesis, break something down, and just have some ideas of what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, how that thing may happen. You don't need to spend too much time doing that, though, because if you spend too much time doing that, then that's all you're doing and you're not actually doing anything. The point of even being able to do that is to then bring those things you see in the future in your imagination, in your mind, and bring them back down into today and what you can practically work on and affect and have impact on today. And what happens is everything becomes a lot more manageable, right? If I'm trying to think about how I am setting up, one funnel, accomplishing the publishing of content across, multiple companies and multiple brands, and accomplishing, building sales teams and, having these hard conversations. If I'm thinking about all of this stuff all at one time, I'm overwhelmed, I'm going to overload, and I'm just not going to fucking do anything, right? Like I'm going to sit there in this abyss in between a bunch of things I'm thinking about and not actually really take much action. If I am taking action, there's so many open loops in my brain that my ability to focus my cognition on just getting done any single task at hand is dramatically reduced. So here's the shtick. Plan tomorrow today and think in day-tight compartments. When you wake up, rather than thinking about everything that you need to do over the next 9 months and all these finished outcomes, just think of the next steps. Right? The next steps. What can you actually accomplish today? I'll make it practical for you. I'm doing this high ticket fitness closer funnel so we can staff salespeople. In order to do that, I need to have social media posted across 2 social media accounts. I need to have 20 to 25 posts. If I think about having that all accomplished right now, it sounds challenging. I'm fuck, I got to make 50 thumbnails. I got to fucking post 25 different things. I got to make sure it looks good. Are the hooks good? Are the editors working on it? Who's in there overseeing it? Is Connor doing a good job, my main video guy, in picking which pieces to post and laying them out? what software should I use to do the publishing, who's going to upload it. If I think about when should it be uploaded by, I could go on and on and on and on and on. There's a million questions you can ask. And think about if you're only thinking about the end result. And it seems very, very overwhelming when doing that. Thinking in day-type compartments is, okay, that's the direction I want to head. What can I solve today? Maybe I can just pick the publishing tool. Or maybe I could just, lay out all of the posts. Maybe I can just do all of the thumbnails. Just write all of the captions. Just then upload them into the publishing software. Then publish them, right? It becomes a lot more manageable. Like you say it like that, it's like, holy shit, Luke, chill the fuck out. This isn't even that much. You got like a couple hour blocks of work and it's done, right? So you go from having an anxiety attack, like how the fuck am I going to do this? This is way overwhelming, to let me just do this one thing right now. What can I control today? What can I accomplish today that's going to measurably move me forward towards my desired outcome? See, most people, they think that that's thinking too small, or it's like too insignificant to actually be meaningful. Right? It's like, no, let me just continue to think about 45 things all at once, because that feels way more intense. That feels way more like, like I'm really doing something because I'm thinking about 45 things all at once. That requires all of this bandwidth to try and, hold mentally in a world where nothing even exists. And it's crazy because that's what a lot of people do. Versus just what's the one thing I can do today? And then doing that every single day over a long period of time ends up what? Making all of this shit happen, all of this shit come true. So, Jeff Bezos, he has two ways to say it. Charlie Munger has one. Jeff Bezos says, slow is smooth and smooth is fast, right? So if you're doing these like one by one tasks each day, it might feel kind of slow, but it actually makes you kind of smooth. And then because you're smooth, it actually ends up going kind of fast. Or like a golf swing, for example. You don't want to muscle a golf swing and you can't muscle a golf swing. A good fast golf swing is a smooth golf swing with nice tempo, right? So same concept. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. When you're working in these day-type compartments, you might be like, damn, I'm doing nothing. I'm just doing 12 thumbnails. Just sitting here picking 12 pictures for my reel, or I'm just, sitting here writing 12 captions, or I'm just sitting here building the copy for one page, or I'm just writing one email, or I'm just picking one subject line. All of that seems like you're going slow because it seems very insignificant. But in fact, it's just chipping away, right? Like, how do you eat a cow? Bite by bite. So yeah, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. The other thing he says is step by step, ferociously, which I love. That used to be my wallpaper on my phone. So it's like you have all these small steps that you can accomplish day to day. Rip through them, right? Like, what can you accomplish right now that's going to move you forward? And just start taking action on all of these things immediately. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not end of week, not any of that bullshit. What can you literally do right now? And there's a tremendous amount of confidence, a tremendous amount of energy, a tremendous amount of force that comes with that frame of thinking. Just what am I going to do right now? What can I handle today? Day-type compartments. What can I do before I go to sleep tonight that's going to meaningfully move me forward? And doing that every single day, right? Like, you don't set out to you don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall in the world. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. And you do that every day, and soon you have a wall. That's a Will Smith quote. Charlie Munger, little by little we get ahead, not necessarily in large spurts, right? People's frame is like they need to be doing this crazy dramatic thing, or they must not be doing the right thing. But the truth is, it really is much more about just handling daily what there is to handle that day, and then doing that every day. Things get cleaner, things get clearer, progress gets made. You see from a higher vantage point, you have more bricks laid, right? You have more steps done. Now, rather than thinking about the 45 things you need to do, 27 of them are done, right? And because 27 of them are done, the other, 18 that you're thinking about look different, right? You have a purer perspective on the remaining 18 because the other 27 are no longer cluttering your mind, right? So huge hack, for everybody who's like got these huge, big goals, tons of things that they want to accomplish. That's amazing. That is great. I love that. I have big goals I want to accomplish. But you got to bring it down to what you can accomplish today at some point. It's like, hey, what can we literally do today that's going to move us forward? Because if we just think of the big goals and all of the things we want to do, we're going to drive ourselves crazy. We're going to feel very overwhelmed. Alex Sharfin from the Billionaire Code, I was in his mastermind a couple years ago. It's like $25,000 to join. And I joined it prematurely. But one of the things that he said that really stuck with me was, if you want an entrepreneur to go crazy, tell them to think about where they want to be in 5 years, get really clear on it, and then tell them to begin executing on that right now. Because there's such a large space between where we want to get to and where we currently are. That's just going to drive somebody nuts. Where do you begin, right? If you break it down into just, what can I do this month? And then what do I want to do each week? And then what do I want to do each day that's going to allow me to do each week, which is going to allow me to do just this 1 month? You're going to get a lot further, a lot faster. Is it sexy? Maybe not. It's like, oh shit, I just got to do this thing today. Is that the sexiest thing? No. Is it cooler to like get on your phone or get on a phone with a friend and, have a mental masturbation session with them, talking about all of this shit that's just up in your head and like, oh, I'm trying to do these 45 things all at once. Or it's like, yeah, I'm just working on some thumbnails. Oh no, yeah, I'm just doing the ad copy for a couple emails right now. Right? There's a big difference. One moves you forward, one kind of just confuses you and wastes your time. So I think if you're spending more than 10, 15, 20% of your time out in the future and not acting on what you can act upon today, you are missing the point of being able to go out into the future. You go out into the future so you can bring it back to today, break it down, make measurable progress towards it. And that is the way it goes. So working in day-tight compartments, I hope this helped. This is something that I needed right now because I personally was feeling a little bit overwhelmed this morning. I was feeling a little anxious this morning. I was like, I have all of these things this morning. And it's just like, no, Luke, just what can you do today? Stop focusing on all of these different things all at once, all these hypothetical future situations across all these different areas of your life that you are holding in your mind and just imagining, right? Like, it's like, just take action today. Stay, be where you are. Take action today. What can you do today to move you forward? And then the next steps are going to show themselves, right? You don't have to figure it all out in your mind ahead of time. You actually cannot figure it all out in your mind ahead of time. And when you do think you have it figured out all ahead of time in your mind, typically you find out you were wrong. Like most of the time, you're like, oh, wow, I thought it was going to be this way and it wasn't this way. Typically, that's the way it works. If it's something that's tripping you up, because if it's tripping you up, it's unfamiliar. If it's unfamiliar, you really don't know. So don't spend too much time in hypotheticals and theoreticals. It's good to have big goals and big directions and lots of things you want to accomplish. But at the end of the day, you need to break it down into day-tight compartments and think in day-tight compartments. Your anxiety will go down. It'll make all your work a lot more manageable. So just to reiterate, the night before, do something called planning tomorrow today. Plan tomorrow today. Just write down what you want to accomplish tomorrow, today, right? So it's like tonight you're going to write down what you want to accomplish tomorrow. Then you wake up, you have those things. What can you accomplish today? Step by step, ferociously. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and little by little we get ahead, not necessarily in large spurts. That is the way to make consistent progress without going crazy. So thank you guys so much for listening. This has been episode number 16 of the Internet Capitalist Podcast. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow for the next episode. Thanks. Bye.